So now we're going to focus on bullet point number 2. Why private money? Why are we raising money and not putting any of our own money, our skin in the game, into the deal? There are so many reasons. Remember, the number one reason why everyone in the world is not lending on our deal is because they're simply not educated on the process. So we are seated right now with our private money lenders, educating them on how this whole private money lending process works. Here's how I start the conversation. And what I'm about to share with you is a strategy that my very first mentor shared with me. And it's a strategy that I still live by today. So before I take my private money lenders through this slide, I explain to them, hey, just so you understand, of course, I have money of my own. I have a savings account. But when I began investing in real estate, I made a strategic business decision to use all of my money to grow my passive income portfolio. So, what that means, private money lender, is anytime I accrue chunks of whatever number you want to share, $10,000, I say $25,000, instead of keeping it in the bank, I deploy it into a variety of real estate investment strategies. What I mean by that is sometimes I may choose to buy a turnkey rental property in the form of a single family home. Just like you, I'm also a private money lender. So now I'm building commonality. Sometimes I may choose to lend that $25,000 to another trusted, credible real estate investor. On occasion, we will invest in multifamily and commercial syndications. So I don't believe in investing in the stock market. I don't keep a savings, a nest egg in the bank. Anytime I accrue chunks of $25,000, I deploy it passively in my real estate portfolio. This way, private money lender, I'm able to use real estate as my vehicle to achieving financial freedom. And then for all of my flips, anytime I wholesale a deal, my active income is what I refer to, the things I do to make money, I leverage other people's money. I raise private money for all of my flips, for example, or whatever your investment strategy is, because now I'm making an infinite return. So, what that means, private money lender, is that I'm using no money out of pocket and I'm potentially turning a profit. And then I crack a joke about more on that later. Of course, in this business, we're going to make money and lose money. The net of it is hopefully a positive gain. Again, we'll talk about what that looks like later. And then I move on and I break down this slide. So, just so you understand, private money lender, especially now, it is very important for me as an investor to have access to cash because that is the only way I can submit competitive offers and close quickly. I purposely choose not to work with banks for many different reasons because number one, a bank is not going to lend on non-conforming properties. What that means is if I find a property that's got mold or non-functional plumbing, they're not going to lend on it. Number two, they can't close in a week. They can't even close in 2 weeks. They have a very time-consuming, cumbersome process. Number three, even if I choose to save half of the interest that I'm offering you on a deal, a bank is still going to limit the number of mortgages that they're going to give me. So, working with a bank actually prevents me from being competitive, especially in today's market. Access to capital is also very important based upon the goals I've shared with you because access to other people's money is how I am able to take on more than 1 to 2 flips at a time. It doesn't matter how deep your pockets are. This is a message just to you. We are still going to be limited on how much we can do, even if we do choose to use our own money. So then I go on to tell the private money lender not only can I take on more than 1 to 2 projects at a time, access to private money also allows me to diversify my real estate portfolio and start investing in other assets. Maybe I choose to take down a 10-unit multifamily, or maybe I start investing in RV parks or self storage units. So I break down this slide so my private money lender has an extra layer of clarity on why we raise private money. Hey, private money lender, it's not to save and protect my money and put your money at risk. This is how I am able to grow and scale my business. What's in it for you? Why do private money lenders love working with us? These 3 words may look very familiar. There's a lot of congruent scripts that will be happening throughout this training. Protect, secure, and ensure are three very powerful terms when educating any prospective private money lender on the benefits to investing with us. There are a lot of investors out there who don't raise money the right way. They don't treat it like a business, and they will do deals on a handshake. That's not how we are going to conduct business. We will treat every single relationship, regardless of how close we are to them, as a business and set everything up contractually the right way. So, number one, private money lender, I will always protect your investment. What that means is I will provide you with the promissory note, which simply summarizes the terms and conditions of our agreement. I have these promissory notes ready to go. Rest assured, my attorney has reviewed them, of course. If you would like to have your own attorney review them, within reason, I would be more than happy to cover up to $300 in legal fees in order for your own team to either create their own promissory note or review the one that I can provide you with. Another massive benefit to investing with us is the security you're going to receive. So, what that means, private money lender, is the majority of the time, because there will be exceptions on occasion, we can talk about that later on a live coaching call. The majority of the time, I am going to record a mortgage attaching your name to the property. And what that means is I can't sell this renovated property without your written authorization. So, really, and then I crack another joke, just as much as you're vetting me right now, I'm vetting you. We really want to make sure we vibe, we understand each other because the trust does go both ways. Now, I'm going to share this with you. The trust truly has to go both ways because there may be private money lenders out there. Now, this has never happened to me, who at the end of a project see that you're making more than you originally forecasted. And maybe they choose not to sign the payoff balance. Maybe they tell you they want more. Of course, we have contracts in place that the lawyers and title companies will see and work through. And again, this has never happened to me, but just so you understand, this is why it's so important to really know, like, and trust the individuals that you're going to be working with when raising private money. So, highlighting the fact that they have this security, this tangible asset is huge. And then I go on to demonize the stock market. Hey, if you get out there and you go invest in some stocks, for example, I invested in Lululemon. I did that because my mom wouldn't get off my back about it. So, yes, I own a little bit of stock. I don't actively buy any stock. I only invest in what I know. I explained this to the private money lender. When you go out there and you invest in the stock market, are they giving you a contract? No. Are they giving you security, collateral? If you take a loss, you think they're going to pay you back? No. So we talk about all the negatives that come when we lack control, such as investing in the stock market, mutual funds, traditional 401k accounts, especially parking money in the bank. And then the third massive benefit we want to highlight is how we insure their investment. So, lastly, private money lender, one of the biggest advantages to working with us is that I'm going to insure your investment. Many investors out there don't do this. What that means is I'm going to add you as a beneficiary or loss payee to my builder's risk insurance policy or whatever policy you have, a landlord policy. So, in the rare occasion, should a natural disaster happen, now this is going to be very important for some of you to communicate depending on where you live. Rest assured, our insurance company will pay you back. So, the way I manage this process is I simply send an email to my insurance broker. I copy my private money lender on the email and I say, hey, here's my private money lender. This is their contact info. Here's their loan amount. Can you please add them to the policy as a beneficiary or loss payee? And please reply to all with a copy of the updated insurance certificate so we can file it away for our records. These three contracts or documentations are huge when conveying the benefits to our private money lenders in working with us. If you forget everything, remember these three words: protect, secure, and insure. However, you're not going to forget everything. And then you're going to go on to convey the additional benefits to investing with us. Also, a private money lender, I buy my homes below market value. Now, look, if you don't do that, don't say that. So, when I was buying properties in Chicago, most of the time I was buying them at 90 cents on the dollar. So, the minute I closed on the purchase of that distressed property, I built 10% of instant equity in the deal. Of course, there were times where I would pay above market value, but that's only because I was forcing so much appreciation by tearing down the existing infrastructure and building a brand new single family home. So, this is why understanding our target market and knowing how to underwrite deals, which we'll talk about later, is very important and critical in our ability to raise private money. Private money lender also, I'm always going to offer you a 12% annualized return, and I do. It's always the same for 11 years. Can I get out there right now and beat up my private money lenders and get them down to 8 to 10%? Absolutely. But why? 2 to 4% annualized in interest is not going to make or break my deal. And if it does, then it's not a deal. I want the easy yes. The double digits at 12% more than likely will get the private money lender to just reinvest, reinvest, reinvest. If I drop it down to 8, they may go elsewhere or they may start to dabble in the stock market. So these are always high ROIs at 12% annualized, and they're fixed. The moment we start working together, I'm not going to change these terms on you. And for congruency purposes only, I go on to explain what short term notes means. I set up all of my promissory notes on a 12-month term. Sometimes our projects are done in 6 to 8 months. Other times they're done in 18 to 24 months. You'll see in the promissory note provided that there is a renewal clause, which is also associated with a renewal fee. And of course, when the timing is right, we can have the conversation and you can decide whether or not you want to stay in the deal. And if you want to cash out, that's cool. Just so you understand, private money lender, I never hold anyone's money hostage, no matter, you like these terms I'm using, target, hostage, no matter how many contracts we have in place. If you agree to a 2-year note, and if you decide 60 days in, you want to cash out, no problem. Just give me 1 to 2 weeks to cash you out principal and interest. And again, we can continue these conversations when or if the time presents itself. At the end of the day, I want the private money lender to understand this is one of many conversations. My goal is to build a long term relationship with you. This isn't just a transactional relationship or a one time relationship, because I truly believe that we are creating win win situations. As I explained earlier, access to other people's money allows me to grow and scale my business, but it also provides you with another way to earn interest income by creating multiple streams of business for your lifestyle as well.